Can, sir?
Okay, okay.
Sir, we can start.
Yeah, Hari Om. Hari Om. Namaste to all. There is some network connection problem. So in between, if the network again, becomes feeble, this live relay may be cut. With that intention, we are starting now. It is late. With prostrating at the lotus feet of Brahmanishta Sadguru Shrotriya Sri Virajeshwara Saraswati on behalf of all of us. Today's discourse on Vivek Chudamani will continue with the Mangalacharana Shlokas. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Mahasaraswatyai Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Sri Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Pariyantam Vande Guru Paramparam Shruti Smruti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashyakruto Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Sadgurum Pranatosmiham Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwaraya Hari Om. Now, after explaining in the previous verses or shlokas, Acharya Shankara Bhagavatpada explained to his disciple that Annamaya Kosha, that is a gross body, is not the Atma or Pratyagatma, not the Parabrahma Vastu, not the Atma Vastu. Then he explained the Pranamaya Kosha, the Pancha Pranas, the 5 Pranas, the vital breath traversing in the body, whole of the body is also not Atma Vastu. After that, after Annamaya Kosha negating it, Pranamaya Kosha negating it, then he negated this Manomaya Kosha, that is a mind. The mind is a powerful part of the Karana. Powerful part. Mind always goes along with the Chitta, the deeper aspect, subconscious part of the mind. So that mind is also not Atma Vastu. So the mind is called Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya. So the Manomaya means the mind. Mind is also not Atma Vastu. Now, with compassion, Acharya, now he starts with Vijnanamaya Kosha. Now, in the beginning only, one thing has to be made very clear so that the shlokas will be understood very correctly. We can follow the shlokas correctly. See, the word Vijnanamaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya, that refers to Buddhi, first point. Buddhi means intellect, the reasoning capacity of our internal component, Antakarana. The same Antakarana is called Buddhi when this powerful internal component of the Antakarana develops the highest Sattva Guna and the determinate quality, the reasoning quality. So the Buddhi in Vedanta, the words used for this Buddhi is Nishchayatmaka. Nishchayatmaka, adjective added. Nishchayatmaka Buddhi, Dhi Shakti, means this Buddhi is endowed with the capacity to discern, to decipher, to understand what is correct, what is not correct, what is dharma, what is adharma, what is good and what is bad. So it is a sort of a guiding force in our antakarana, in our inside, internal component, in our sukshma sharira, subtle body. This buddhi always gives the correct directions. It has that power of analyzing the facts and giving intuitive feeling whether to do a particular thing or not. So, in other words, in common our parlance, buddhi can be referred as the intuitive power, the reasoning power of our mind, or antakarana, antaspurthi. These are the some words used in Vedanta elsewhere. Buddhi is known as antaspurthi. The antaprajna is the nishayatmaka part of the antakarana. To give one small example, this buddhi, even though it is powerful, it is full of sattva guna. Ultimately, the buddhi actually suppressed by the powerful mind itself. Sometimes buddhi tries to express itself because of the predominant sattva quality. But in most of the cases, the mind will dominate over the buddhi. To give a very colloquial, common example first, what is the difference between buddhi and the mind? A simple example, how to explain this aspect first. See, a person in the heat of the moment, he murders somebody. The reasons may be plenty. And he becomes a killer. He is caught. He is tried in the court of the trial, and then whatever punishment is given to him. Now here, when the person commits the murder, when he kills somebody, please analyze yourself. The buddhi in that person knows that reasoning power, intuitive power, knows that killing is very bad. Killing another human being is absolutely adharma. It is against the law, against the consciousness. So consciously the buddhi says, it knows that killing is very bad. But the mind overrides the buddhi at that moment, and then he becomes a victim of his own mind and he kills that somebody. So the reasoning power is there. Killing is very bad. Knowingly well, the person commits the murder. His mind overtakes the buddhi. The intuitive power is suppressed. So the buddhi usually in Vedanta, it is known that buddhi goes along with ahankara, another antakarana, part of the antakarana. You please remember earlier it was told antakarana has 4 parts. Depending on its functional quality, the same antakarana is referred as buddhi, ahankara, manas, and chitta. Antakarana. So buddhi usually is associated with aham, ahankara, me, myself, that ego part. That means buddhi always associates with the myself, me concept, aham concept all the time with the body. Always. Even though it has that powerful reasoning, intuitive power, unfortunately, that buddhi identifies itself with the ego, with ahankara. I am this body. So bear all these points in the mind. So now Acharya starts with explanation on this Vijnanamaya Kosha. Ultimately, he says that even this is not Atmavastu, it is Anatma. Because Buddhi ultimately is a Jada. This Vijnanamaya Kosha is a Jada, it is inert. It cannot sustain after the death of the body, it dies along with the body. So now we are starting with the verse number 184, where Acharya starts explaining this Vijnanamaya Kosha. That is the nature of the intellect. Buddhi buddhirbuddhendriyai sardham savrittihi kartu lakshanah vijnanamaya koshah syat pumsah samsara karanam. बुद्धिर्बुद्धीन्द्रियै सार्धं सवृत्तिः कर्तृलक्षणः विज्ञानमयकोशः स्यात् पुंसः संसारकारणम्. बुद्धीन्द्रियै सार्धं कीवर्ड. ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಈ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಮಯ ಕೋಶ ಅದು ತನ್ನ ಜ್ಞಾನೇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಕೂಡಿ ಸಾರ್ಧಂ. ಬುದ್ಧೀಂದ್ರಿಯೈ ಸಾರ್ಧಂ means along with the 5 organs of senses, jnanendriyas. So this buddhi becomes savrutti kartrulakshanaha. ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಈ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಮಯ ಕೋಶ ತನ್ನ ಪಂಚ ಜ್ಞಾನೇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳನ್ನೇ ಕೂಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅಹಂಭಾವದಲ್ಲಿ ಕರ್ತೃಲಕ್ಷಣ ಸವೃತ್ತಿ ವೃತ್ತಿಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ತಾನು ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದುತ್ತದೆ. ಈ ದೇಹವೇ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವವನ್ನು ಹೊಂದುತ್ತದೆ ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅಥವಾ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಮಯ ಕೋಶ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಬುದ್ಧಿ, ದಿಸ್ intellect, along with the 5 sense organs, intuitively feels that it is the doer. It is the doer. I am the kartru. I am the doer. So identifies with the body that I am the doer. Identifies with the body itself, along with the 5 sense organs. Jnanendriyas, organs of sense perception. Jnanendriyas. And it becomes savrutti kartrulakshanaha. So this buddhi is called, next line, vijnanamaya kosha syat pumsah samsara karanam. So this buddhi is called vijnanamaya kosha. Acharya is starting like this in the verse 184. So this buddhi which has got the kartrutva lakshana, it is of the nature of the doership. I am the doer. I am the performer. I am performing the action. So identifying with the body. So this is called Vijnanamaya Kosha. And Pumsaha Samsara Karanam, the next part of the second line. Key phrase of the second line. Vijnanamaya Kosha Syat Pumsaha Samsara Karanam. So this buddhi is responsible for this continuation of samsara. ಈ ಜೀವಿಗೆ ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಮಯ ಕೋಶ ಸಂಸಾರದ ಗತಿಗೆ ಕಾರಣವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಜನ್ಮ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಮರಣ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮ, ಈ ರೀತಿ ಸಂಸಾರ ಚಕ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿರಂತರವಾಗಿ ಹರಿದಾಡಲು ಈ ಜೀವಿಗೆ ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯೂ ಕಾರಣವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. So this buddhi, this vijnanamaya kosha, for pumsaha means for the human being or to the individual, samsara karanam bhavati. Understood? This is responsible for the bondage. This is responsible for the samsara to continue. Samsara means, as repeatedly said earlier all these times, continuation of the death and rebirth. Death and rebirth. So we never escape from this cycle of death and rebirth. So for that, this part of the antakarna called buddhi is also responsible, because it is identifying with the body itself. I am the doer. I am the kartru. Once you think I am the kartru, then you also enjoy the fruits of your actions of the previous birth as prarabdha in this birth. As prarabdha in this birth. Next, Acharya continues. Anuvrajat chit pratibimba shaktire vijnana sanyah prakrute vikaraha jnana kriyavan ahamityajasram देहेन्द्रियादिषु अभिमन्यते भृशम् अनुव्रजच्चित् प्रतिबिम्बशक्तिः विज्ञानसंज्ञः प्रकृते विकारः ज्ञानक्रियावान्नहमित्यजस्रम् देहेन्द्रियादिषु अभिमन्यते भृशम् अनुव्रजत् चित् प्रतिबिंब शक्ति विज्ञान संज्ञ प्रकृते विकार आचार्य is making very clear. So this vijnanamaya kosha, this so called buddhi of the antakarana, this most important innermost part, the intuitive part of the antakarana, this intellect is vijnana sanya prakrute vikaraha. This is nothing but again modification of the prakriti. It is modification of the prakriti, and it is nothing but it actually anuvrajachit pratibimba shakti vijnana sanya. It is called vijnanamaya kosha because it always has a, it goes along with, it is reflected by, it is illuminated all the time by chit pratibimba shakti. Chit pratibimba shakti. So since it is the nearest to the self, nearest to the atma vastu, nearest to the pratyagatma, the self shining atma, the self shining brahma vastu present inside it, self radiating atma vastu totally shines this buddhi, this vijnanamaya kosha. So the buddhi is in turn is totally shined, totally illuminated by the radiance, brilliant radiance of Atma Shakti itself. It is also radiating the light because of the influence of Atma Shakti itself. The buddhi is nearest to the Atma, we can say, in as per Vedanta. Among all the 5 koshas, that is again Annamaya kosha, Pranamaya kosha, Vijnanamaya kosha, and even Anandamaya kosha, this Manomaya kosha and Anandamaya kosha, compared to these, this Vijnanamaya kosha or the buddhi, intellect, this power of intellect is closest, nearest to Atma vastu. ಆತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಸಮೀಪದಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿ. ಸತ್ವಗುಣ ಪ್ರಧಾರಿತವಾದ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಆತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಸಮೀಪವಾಗಿದೆ. ಆತ್ಮನಿಂದ ಬೆಳಕನ್ನು ಪಡೆದು ಆ ಚಿತ್ ಪ್ರತಿಬಿಂಬ ಶಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನ ಪಡೆದು ಯಾವಾಗಲೂ ಬೆಳಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾವುದು? ಬುದ್ಧಿಯೂ ಬೆಳಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಬೆಳಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆತ್ಮನ ನೇರ ಬೆಳಕು ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಆ ಆತ್ಮನನ್ನೇ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅನುಸರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಆತ್ಮನು ಆ ತನ್ನ ಬೆಳಕನ್ನ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ಚೆಲ್ಲಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ಪ್ರತಿಫಲಿತವಾದ ಬೆಳಕಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಆತ್ಮನ ಬೆಳಕು, ಆತ್ಮನ ಬೆಳಕಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಹೊಳಿತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಮಾನವಾಗಿ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಬುದ್ಧಿ, ವಿಜ್ಞಾನಮಯ ಕೋಶ, ಆಲ್ಸೋ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ with brilliance the radiance of Atma Vastu. How to explain this in simplest way? How to make it very clear? Vedanta says all these words. The one simple aspect coming to the mind here is one small simile, one small example, a very ordinary example which we can see in our day-to-day life. See, in the night time, we see the brilliance of moon shining. Night time, it shines. The moonlight is there with all brilliance, especially near the full moon day when we look at the sky, especially in the countryside, away from the cities. You will enjoy the moonlight. That so enchanting, so mesmerizing. It illuminates the whole world in the darkness, that moonlight. You can visibly look at the moonlight. It is not scorching. It is pleasing to the eyesight. Whereas in the daytime, when the sunlight is blaring on the earth. It is so scorching, you can't see the sunlight directly with the open eyes. Look at the moon. The moon by itself is inert. It is a satellite of the earth, planet earth. We all know that the moon is not shining by itself. It is not radiating any light by itself. The moon is shining because of the sunlight it has received. So it is reflecting that sunlight. In the night time, we see the moon shining. But by contrast, the moon itself is not a shining individual, padartha. Moon itself is not a shining body by itself. It only reflects the sunlight. Just like that, buddhi shines, illuminates with the sattva guna. It illuminates, it radiates the intuitive power in our antakarana. It decides what is good, what is bad, what is dharma, what is adharma, it says. What is evil, what is good, it decides and says. Says means it gives an intuitive feeling. So it is that reasoning power, all due to Atmavastu. By itself, the buddhi is a jada or inert, like the moon. The moon is shining because of the sunlight. So the buddhi, Vijnanamaya Kosha, is shining intellectually with all the reasoning capacity because of the presence of Atmavastu. Because the Atmavastu, it is illuminating the buddhi is also radiating. So you please remember like that. Please remember like that. By itself, buddhi is a jada, inert. ಸ್ವತಂತ್ರವಾಗಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಅದು ನಿಷ್ಕ್ರಿಯ ಜಡ ಪದಾರ್ಥ. ಕೇವಲ ಆತ್ಮನ ಸಾನ್ನಿಧ್ಯದಿಂದ, ಆ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಸಾನ್ನಿಧ್ಯದಿಂದ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯು ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಮಾನವಾಗಿದೆ. ಶುಭಾಶುಭಗಳನ್ನು ಅರಿಯುತ್ತದೆ, ಧರ್ಮಾಧರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನು ಅರಿಯುತ್ತದೆ, ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು ಕೆಟ್ಟದ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ತಿಳಿಯುತ್ತದೆ. ಜ್ಞಾನ ಕ್ರಿಯಾವಾನ್ ಅಹಮಿತ್ಯಜಸ್ರಂ ದೇಹೇಂದ್ರಿಯಾದಿಷು ಅಭಿಮನ್ಯತೆ ಪೃಷಂ. The next two lines of the shloka. ಜ್ಞಾನ ಕ್ರಿಯಾವಾನ್ ಅಹಮಿತ್ಯಜಸ್ರಂ ದೇಹೇಂದ್ರಿಯಾದಿಷು ಅಭಿಮನ್ಯತೆ ಭೃಶಂ. Prusham means all the time. Dehendriyadishu abhimanyate. Aham iti abhimanyate dehendriyadishu. Jnana kriyavan. Even though this buddhi with the power of reflection from a Parama Chaitanya, but still it identifies with the body, and with this identification all the time, this with the ahankara, I am the body, so that it always identifies with the deha plus indriya, dehendriyadishu aham iti abhimanyate bhrusham. So all the time this buddhi identifies itself that I am the body and the organs of the body. ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ದೇಹ ಮತ್ತು ಈ ದೇಹದ ಇಂದ್ರಿಯಗಳು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಬುದ್ಧಿಗೆ ಸದಾ ಕಾಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. That is a point Acharya is talking. ಅನಾದಿ ಕಾಲೋ ಅಯಂ ಅಹಂ ಸ್ವಭಾವೋ ಜೀವ ಸಮಸ್ತ ವ್ಯವಹಾರವೋಢ ಕರೋತಿ ಕರ್ಮಾಣ್ಯಪಿ ಪೂರ್ವವಾಸನಃ ಪುಣ್ಯಾನ್ ಅಪುಣ್ಯಾನಿ ಚ ತತ್ಫಲಾನಿ. ಅನಾದಿ ಕಾಲೋ ಅಯಂ ಅಹಂ ಸ್ವಭಾವೋ ಜೀವ ಸಮಸ್ತ ವ್ಯವಹಾರವೋಢ ಕರೋತಿ ಕರ್ಮಾಣ್ಯಪಿ ಪೂರ್ವವಾಸನಃ ಪುಣ್ಯಾನ್ನ ಪುಣ್ಯಾನಿ ಚ ತತ್ಫಲಾನಿ. In the next shloka, Acharya is making very clear. Anadi kalo ayam aham swabhavo jivaha samasta vyavahara vodhaha. So, from the time immemorial, from the beginningless time, from since so many hundreds and hundreds of previous births, this buddhi, this intellect, this reasoning power of antakarana this Vijnanamaya Kosha of the Antakarana has believed that I am this body, I am this jiva, I am this individual. It has believed from time immemorial, from so many previous hundreds of births. Anadikalo ayam aham swabhavo jiva samasta vyavahara vodha. So believing that I am the body in all the previous births, hundreds of births, thousands of births, and also in the future births, it is performing all its actions and activities as long as the body is alive. ಅನಾದಿ ಕಾಲದಿಂದ ಹಿಂದೆ ನೂರಾರು ಪೂರ್ವ ಜನ್ಮಗಳಿಂದ ಈ ದೇಹವೇ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವದಿಂದ ಈ ಜೀವ ಅನ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋ ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಸಮಸ್ತ ತನ್ನ ವ್ಯವಹಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಮುಂದಿನ ಜನ್ಮಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ಅದೇ ಆಗತ್ತೆ, ಭವಿಷ್ಯತ್ತಲ್ಲೂ ಅದೇ ಆಗತ್ತೆ. ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವದಿಂದ ಜೀವ ಅನ್ಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ವ್ಯವಹಾರಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So what is that this buddhi is in identifying with the body doing? Karoti karmanyapi purvavasanaha punyana punyani cha tatphalani. Understood point? Bhungte, the next word. So this buddhi identifying with the body, what is happening? Purvavasanaha punyan apunyani karmani api karoti. So because of the influence of the previous vasanas, the impressions, innate impressions carried from previous births, according to the previous birth samskaras carried in this birth, according to the vasanas, impressions from previous births carried over to this birth, this buddhi, identifying itself as a jiva in this body, performs all the functions, all the karmas, whether it is punya karma or apunya karma. That means whether shubha karma or ashubha karma. Because of the previous vasanas, influenced by the previous tendencies, previous birth sankalpas, this jiva identifying or identified as the body by buddhi itself, performs all shubha karmas and ashubha karmas in this birth. ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯ ಪಾಪ ಪುಣ್ಯಗಳ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಜೀವ ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವದಲ್ಲಿ, ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವದಲ್ಲಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಮರಣ ಬರುವವರೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ, ಎಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿ ಇಂಟೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್, the buddhi, vijnanamaya kosha, identifying itself with body as a jiva, limited to the body, performs all types of functions, good and bad, till the last breath, till the death. So, while performing all such functions, punya and apunya, see last line, last two lines, karoti karmanyapi purvavasanaha punyanya punyani cha tatphalani, bhungte to be added. So based on its own karmas, tatphalani bhungte. Now it enjoys the fruits of its own actions. ತಾನು ಮಾಡಿರುವ ಕರ್ಮಗಳ ಪ್ರತಿಫಲ ರೂಪವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಫಲಗಳನ್ನ, ಪುಣ್ಯಕರ್ಮಗಳಾಗ್ಲಿ ಪಾಪಕರ್ಮಗಳಾಗಲಿ, ಅವುಗಳ ಫಲವನ್ನ ಜೀವಭಾವದಲ್ಲಿ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ತಾನೇ ಅನುಭವಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? ತಾನು ಮಾಡಿದ ಕೆಲಸಗಳಿಗೆ ಪ್ರತಿಫಲವನ್ನ ತಾನೇ ಪಡೆಯುತ್ತದೆ. ಯಾಕೆ? ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ಅದು ಸ್ವತಃ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಬುದ್ಧಿ, ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ. ನಾನು ಮಾಡುವವನು, ನಾನು ಕರ್ತ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, since the buddhi identifies with the body and then thinks that I am the doer of all karmas, so it has to also face the rewards. It has to eat the fruits of its own karmas, good or bad. So that is the point. So next Acharya continues. That word bhungte is there actually added to the next shloka. भुङ्क्ते विचित्रास्वपि योनिषु व्रजन् आयाति निर्याति अध ऊर्ध्वमेषः अस्यैव विज्ञानमयस्य जागृत् स्वप्नाद्यवस्था सुखदुःखभोगः भुङ्क्ते विचित्रास्वपि योनिषु व्रजन् आयाति निर्यात्यध ऊर्ध्वमेषः अस्यैव विज्ञानमयस्य जागृत् स्वप्नाद्यवस्था सुखदुःखभोगः. So by performing all types of good and bad karmas and reaping the rewards, the fruits of its own karmas, what happens? Based on its own karma phala, this jiva or the buddhi identified itself as jiva, then it enters into different types of births, lower births and higher births. It goes down in the samsara chakra or comes up in the samsara chakra. That means either it is again reborn as the lower animal, tiryak jantu, that is worms and insects and other animals, or it may be reborn as human being and devatas, demigods in the next birth because of the punya karmas. So it continues in the samsara by going up and down. Ayati niryati adha urdhvameshaha, the key phrase in the shloka. That means adha ayati urdhvam niryati. We have to split like that. It comes down to lower births. In the next birth, it may enter into the lowest form of individual animal life. By doing all bad karmas now in this life, the jiva, the buddhi identified as jiva, when it dies, when the body dies, it may be reborn as animal. Ayati means going down in Vedantic parlance. ತನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮಗಳ ದಸೆಯಿಂದ ಕೆಟ್ಟ ಕರ್ಮಗಳು ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಹೀನ ಜನ್ಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಮನುರ್ಜನ್ಮ ಹುಟ್ಟುತ್ತದೆ, ಪ್ರಾಣಿ ಜನ್ಮಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತಿರ್ಯಕ್ ಜಂತುಗಳ ಜನ್ಮ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಮರುಹುಟ್ಟು ಆಗುತ್ತದೆ. ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಣಿಯಾಗಿ, ಹುಳುವಾಗಿ, ಜಂತುವಾಗಿ, ಕ್ರಿಮಿಕೀಟವಾಗಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಬಹುದು, ಅಥವಾ ಹೀನ ಮಾನವ ಕುಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಬಹುದು, ಕೆಳವರ್ಗದ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಬಡತನದ ಕುಟುಂಬದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಬಹುದು ತನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮಗಳ ದೆಸೆಯಿಂದ, ಅಥವಾ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ನಿರ್ಯಾತಿ ಊರ್ಧ್ವಂ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಅಂತ. ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋದು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಉಚ್ಚ ಜನ್ಮಗಳು, ಮುಂದೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಬರುವ ಜನ್ಮಗಳು ಉಚ್ಚ ವರ್ಣಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಬಹುದು, ಸಂಸ್ಕಾರವಂತ ಕುಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟಬಹುದು, ಆಚಾರವಂತರ ಕುಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮ ಆಗಬಹುದು, ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಶ್ರೀಮಂತ ವರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಜನ್ಮ ಆಗಬಹುದು, ದೇವತೆಗಳ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲೇ ಅದರ ಜನ್ಮ ಆಗಬಹುದು ತನ್ನ ಕರ್ಮಕ್ಕೆ ಅನುಸಾರವಾಗಿ. ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಕರ್ಮಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮೇಲಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಜೀವ, the buddhi identified as jiva itself here, by doing all good karmas, it may be born in a better individual status in the next coming births. It may be born as an intellectual person, it may be born in the wealthy person, it may be born in the families with all the cultural values and religious values and spiritual values deeply embedded. Even it may be born as a demigods or devatas. All these things are possible by the karmas it is performing in this birth. And jagrat swapnad yavastaha sukha dukkha bhogaha. Last line of the shloka. Asyaiva vijnanamayasya jagrat swapnadyavastha sukha dukkha bhogaha. Now this vijnanamaya kosha, buddhi, this reasoning power, intuitive power, please remember, vijnanamaya kosha means buddhi. When identifying with the body, asyaiva vijnanamayasya. So this vijnanamaya kosha, Jagrat Swapnadyavastha Sukha Dukkha Bhogaha. Now it enjoys in this birth, the waking state and the dream state regularly. While identifying with the body, this Vijnanamaya Kosha, this Buddhi, always enjoys, experiences waking state and the dream state. And consequentially, it also enjoys, experiences Sukha and Dukkha. Sukha Dukkha Bhogaha. Adu ತನ್ನ ಪಾಲಿನ ಸುಖವನ್ನ ದುಃಖವನ್ನ ಈ ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಸದಾ ಅನುಭವಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ಜಾಗೃತಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಸುಖ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ ಈ ಜೀವ. ಹಾಗೆ ಸ್ವಪ್ನಾವಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಸುಖ ದುಃಖವನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಈ ಜೀವ. ಇದು ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕದ ಅರ್ಥ. The Mahaswami in the Bhashya, in the commentary, writes here, taking the mantra, one line, Anuvaka of Taittiriya Upanishad here. The Taittiriya Upanishad says, regarding this Vijnanamaya Kosha or this Buddhi, this reasoning power, the Upanishad says, Vijnana Yajnam Tanute Karmani Tanutepi. This Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute Karmani Tanute Api. That is the mantra in Taittiriya Upanishad. Vijnanam Yajnam Tanute Karmani Tanute Api. So this Vijnanam means this Buddhi, Antakarana part, this intellect, always identifying with aham, body, myself. It always thinks I am myself, this body. So identifying with the body all the time, this Buddhi, Vijnanam means Buddhi, Yajnam Tanute, Karmani Api Tanute. It performs all the sacrifices. Yajna means all types of sacrifices, all types of the karmas according to Vedas. All types of karmas as enshrined in the Vedas, all types of yajna, sacrifices it performs. And also, sarva karmani tanute api, it performs all the actions in the life. So Upanishad is itself is proclaiming this point. That's what in the explanation Mahaswami writes, taking this example from Taittiriya Upanishad about the Vijnanamaya Kosha. Then what else? Acharya continues the attributes of this Buddhi, this intellect. What are the other attributes, characters, Gunalakshana of the Buddhi? In the next shloka, he starts. It's a long verse with 6 lines. Dehadi nishtashama dharma karma gunabhimanam satatam mameti. Please concentrate on the key phrase, satatam mama iti, satatam mameti. Always me, always me, always me, always mine, me and mine, me and mine. Mama means mine. Please, you stress, remember that point. Mama means mine. Nannadu anno bhava. Mama andre nannadu anno bhava. ಈ ನನ್ನದು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ನಾನು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಮಾತ್ರ ಬರುವಂತಹದ್ದು. ಈ ನಾನು ಅಂತ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ನನ್ನದು ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವಾಗ್ಲೂ ನೆನ್ಪಿಟ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕು. ನಮ್ಮ ಗುರುಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು, ನನ್ನದು ಅಂತ ಯಾವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಮನಸ್ಸಿಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ಸೇರಿದ್ದು ಅಂತ ಯಾವಾಗ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ? ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಭಾವ ಇದ್ದಾಗ, ನಾನು ಇಂಥವನು ಅಂತಿದ್ದಾಗ ಇದೆಲ್ಲವೂ ನನ್ನದು, ನನಗೆ ಸೇರಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ದು, ನನ್ನ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು, ನನ್ನವರು. ಮಮ. Please remember. So the feeling of mama automatically sprouts when the feeling of aham is there. See, when the feeling of aham, me concept is there, it goes along with that mama concept. Aham plus mama. So aham is called ahankara, mama is called mamakara in Vedanta. Have that point in the mind, please. देहादिनिष्ठाश्रम धर्म कर्म गुणाभिमानं सततं ममेति विज्ञानकोशो अयमति प्रकाशः प्रकृष्ट सानिध्यवशात् परात्मनः अतो भवत्येष उभाधिरस्य यदात्मधीः संसरति भ्रमेण. Key phrase in the last line, last part. Yadatma dhihi samsarati bhramena. Bhramena dhihi samsarati. Samsarati means it projects itself and experiences itself and completely gets immersed itself in the samsara, continues itself in this samsara bondage. Samsarati bhramena, because of the brahma. Because of brahma means bhranti, delusion. Bhramayinda andre English word delusion. Because of delusion, because of wrong identification, the entire antakarana is totally deluded. It is totally sort of a delirium state. Manobhranti sthiti, manobhranta sthiti. That is Yadatmadihi samsarati bhramena. Keywords. Last line. Dehadinishtashrama dharma karma gunabhimanam satatam mameti vijnana kosho ayamati prakashaha prakrushta sanidhya vashat paratmanaha. So this buddhi, vijnanamaya kosha, identifies itself with the deha, sharira. I am this body. So it develops that association, abhimana with the body. It's called dehabhimana. Just like the mind, buddhi also develops abhimana to the body, physical body. ಈ ಸ್ಥೂಲ ಶರೀರ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, 9 ತಿಂಗಳು ತಾಯಿಯ ಗರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಬೆಳೆದು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಜನ್ಮದಿಂದ ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂತ ದೇಹ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಸ್ಥೂಲ ಶರೀರ. So the buddhi also identifies with this body, physical body. So with identifying with the body, now dehadinishtaha ashrama dharma karmaha godabhimanam satatam mameti. So the buddhi always thinks, it follows the body. It follows all the attributes of the body, physical body. It follows all the lakshanas of the body. It follows all, completely identifies with the nature of the body. It is dehabhimana, called sharirabhimana it is called. What is a dehabhimana or sharirabhimana in Vedanta? That means tadatmya with the body. Sharira tadatmya it is called. Another key Vedantic word. Sharira tadatmya andreno, sharirabhimana andreno, tadatmya andreno andre, ಈ ದೇಹ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಸಾಯೋ ತನಕ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಜ್ಞೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವನು ಇಂಥವಳು, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮನುಷ್ಯ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಗಂಡು, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಣ್ಣು, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯುವಕ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಯುವತಿ, ನಾನು ಗೃಹಸ್ಥ, ನಾನು ಸನ್ಯಾಸಿ, ನಾನು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಚಾರಿ, ನಾನು ಶ್ರೀಮಂತ, ನಾನು ಬಡವ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ರೀತಿಯ ಭಾವನೆಗಳಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ದೇಹದ ಭಾವನೆಗಳು, ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ತಾನು ಹಾಗೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ, ದೇಹಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದೆ. ತಾದಾತ್ಮ್ಯ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೇ. ಸೊ ದಿ sharirabhimana means the entire buddhi is totally merged with your body concept. It is totally merged. Tadatmyata. Tadatmya means inseparable association in simple English. I don't know how else I can put it. What is dehabhimana? What is tadatmya? A sort of inseparable association. Buddhi totally merges with the body. I am this body. I am so. So it follows, once you identify, all the attributes of the body also attributed to the buddhi. Buddhi also thinks, I am this body, I am the male, I am the female, I am brahmachari, I am a celibate, I am a young man, young woman, I am middle-aged person, I am a youth, I am a married person, I am a bachelor, I am rich, I am poor, I am a sannyasi, I am a vanaprasthi, I am sukhi, I am dukhi. All these feelings till the death, till the last breath, it is there. It is there in our consciousness all the time. That is because even the buddhi has identified with the body. Buddhi with the body totally merged. Tadatmya. Tadatmya bhava means total identification, inseparable union with the body itself. That is called sharirabhimana. That is called dehabhimana. So it follows all the ashrama, dharma, karma, guna, abhimana of the body, followed by the buddhi. Satatam mameti, always, it always thinks myself and mine, me and mine. The mind along with the buddhi, or the buddhi along with the mind, identifies with the body here, always thinks me and mine, me and mine, me and mine concept. Dehadanishta ashrama dharma karma guna abhimana satatam mama iti abhimanam. All the time, mama. This vijnana kosho ayam ati prakashaha prakrushta sanithya vashat paratmanaha. By the association with the Atma Vastu, by being very near to the Atma Vastu, prakrushta sanidhya vashat paratmanaha. ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತುವಿಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಸಮೀಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಬುದ್ಧಿ ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ, ಬುದ್ಧಿಯನ್ನು ಅಂತಃಕರಣ ಆತ್ಮನಿಗೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಸಮೀಪವಾಗಿರೋದರಿಂದ, ಸಿನ್ಸ್ ಬುದ್ಧಿ is very near to the ಆತ್ಮವಸ್ತು, which is self shining like sun, eternal shining. So this vijnana kosho ayam ati prakashaha, even this buddhi is radiating. It has become totally luminous. Ati prakashaha vijnana koshaha ayam ati prakashaha. So this buddhi also has become ati prakasha, means it is totally radiating, illuminating the light all the time. That is why the buddhi is called a repository of sattva. It is full of sattva guna. So sattva always radiates your good qualities. That is why buddhi is called nishchayatmaka. It has a reasoning power. It knows what is good and what is bad. It gives the hint intuitively. The intuition, antaspurti in you sometimes comes up and says, what you are doing is bad. Don't do that. What you are doing is not good for you. Please don't do that. So at times it goes on giving you such ideas in the mind. What is that idea? It propels all the time feeling in your own mind that what is good and what is bad. Because it is full of sattva guna. Why? Because it is radiating itself the light it has received from Atma. It is reflecting the pure light of the Atma itself. It is reflecting that radiance of Atma Vastu residing inside our body. ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಹದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅಂತಃಕರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸ್ವಯಂ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ಸ್ವರೂಪನಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಆತ್ಮನ ಪ್ರಕಾಶ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯು ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಬೆಳಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಸದಾಕಾಲ ಜ್ಯೋತಿ ರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿರುತ್ತೆ. ವಿಜ್ಞಾನ ಕೋಶೋ ಅಯಮತಿ ಪ್ರಕಾಶಃ ಪ್ರಕೃಷ್ಟ ಸಾನ್ನಿಧ್ಯ ವಶಾತ್ ಪರಾತ್ಮನಃ. ಅತೋ ಭವತ್ಯೇಷ ಉಪಾಧಿರಸ್ಯ ಯದಾತ್ಮಧಿ ಸಂಸರತಿ ಭ್ರಮೇಣ. ಅತಃ ಭವತಿ ಏಷ ಉಪಾಧಿ ಅಸ್ಯ ಯದಾತ್ಮಧೀಹಿ ಸಂಸರತಿ ಭ್ರಮೇಣ. ಆದರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಭ್ರಮೆಯಿಂದ, ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ, ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅನ್ನೋ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆಯಿಂದ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಶರೀರ ಅನ್ನೋ ತಪ್ಪು ಅಭಿಮಾನದಿಂದ, ಅದೇ ಭ್ರಾಂತಿ. ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ದೇಹ, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವನು, ನಾನು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಂಥವಳು ಅನ್ನೋ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳುವಳಿಕೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಉಪಾಧಿ. ಏಷ ಉಪಾಧಿ ಅಸ್ಯ ಯದಾತ್ಮದೀಹಿ ಸಂಸರತಿ ಭ್ರಮೇಣ. ಈ ಭ್ರಮೆಯಿಂದ ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯೂ ಸಹ ಸಂಸಾರ ಉಗಮಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾರಣವಾಗಿದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಹುಟ್ಟು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಾವು, ಮತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ಪುನರ್ಜನ್ಮ, ಈ ಸಂಸಾರ ಗತಿಗೆ ಈ ಬುದ್ಧಿಯು ಭ್ರಾಂತಿಯಿಂದ ನಾನು ದೇಹ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು ಕಾರಣ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ. ಸೊ ಆಚಾರ್ಯ ಸೇಸ್ that because of the wrong identification that I am the body, even the buddhi, it is illuminous. It is radiating the light from the Atma itself. Being by wrong identification, it has identified itself as the body. So because of the wrong upadhi identification, upadhi means identification, wrong identification, by the buddhi, which is full of sattva, it is also illuminating. By this wrong identification, by delusion, by Brahma, it is responsible for continuation of the bondage in the samsara. We are bound to the samsara. So for the bondage, this buddhi is also responsible by delusion, by wrong identification. What is the wrong identification? The buddhi also thinks that I am this body. Buddhi goes with ahankara. The buddhi goes with the ego. The buddhi goes with swabhimana. The buddhi goes with your individual perception. The buddhi identifies as individual body. All these things. Yadatmadihi samsarati bhramena. So by this misplaced identification, by this wrong identification, buddhi cannot come out of this illusion. It is totally deluded by the power of Maya, Avarana and Vikshepa. Please remember, by the power of the Maya, buddhi is also deluded. So responsible for the bondage, continuation of samsara. So by Guru Sankalpa, we are stopping today with a short Rama Bhajan. Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama, Sri Rama Jaya Rama Jaya Jaya Rama. Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Virajeshwara.